Hello everybody, it is me, Super Godzilla Final Wars here, and today I am back once again with another video. So, today I want to discuss something, and this is something that's been on my mind for quite some time, ever since Godzilla X Kong, The New Empire came out, and when we first heard about Shirmo, well, the rumors of Shirmo were getting higher and higher here before we got the second trailer and all that stuff. Now, this has been on my mind for quite some time. And that being, who really defeated Ghidorah and imprisoned him in Antarctica? Or, you know. Because if we take a moment to think about it, we honestly at this point are wondering who defeated Ghidorah and imprisoned him in Antarctica. Now, it has been theorized for the longest time, it has been theorized that Dagon was the one who imprisoned Ghidorah in Antarctica. Because when the graphic novel of Godzilla Aftershock came out, and when a lot of people heard about Dagon, and the graphic novel mentioned that he was the one who put the fallen star to rest. And at this point, we know that Ghidorah is practically a fallen star. But here's the thing. The director of King of the Monsters stated that it was Godzilla who was the one who imprisoned Ghidorah in Antarctica. Or some people, I think at least one or two or maybe three people, theorize that it could have been both Godzilla and Dagon. But if there was two kaiju, then wouldn't they be able to kill Ghidorah at that point? Instead of just imprisoning him? Because, as far as we are aware, Godzilla's species are the alpha kaiju and won't hesitate to imprison another alpha kaiju, or not imprison, kill an alpha kaiju, at least one that is a threat to them. Because we know in that Godzilla vs. Kong, Godzilla spared Kong's life. For one, Kong showed the signs that he was a warrior and he was not afraid to die. And second, Kong helped Godzilla. So, there's that. And we know that Godzilla is the kaiju that does not tolerate another alpha kaiju being around unless there's a catch to it. Now, when Godzilla X Kong, The New Empire, came out, a lot of people, when I mean a lot of people, I mean a lot of people, like the good chunk of a lot of Godzilla fans immediately, almost immediately, think that Shirmo was the one who imprisoned Ghidorah in Antarctica. This one is starting to make sense because Shirmo has ice abilities, and as we can see in Godzilla Exploring the New Empire trailer 2, her frostbite blast is really quick. Like, it freezes things almost immediately. Now, if that was the case, why wasn't Shirmo addressed in King of the Monsters? Now, a lot of people can say rather, one, they did not think about Shirmo, or two, they didn't really think that far into the future of the Monsterverse, because originally, Godzilla vs. Kong was supposed to be the last film of the Monsterverse, but since it grew so successful, now we're getting a new movie. And if this movie becomes successful, which I'm hoping it will, I hope that we get more movies for the Monsterverse, honestly. But a lot of people are making a lot of good points about Shirmo being the one freezing and imprisoning Ghidorah in Antarctica. That is, number one, is Ghidorah's pose. His pose is most, understandable. It almost looks like he was trying to get away, like he was trying to get up and continue the fight. Because if you look at King Ghidorah's pose of how he was in King of the Monsters, it almost looks like he was trying to get up and try to continue the fight. But he couldn't because he was frozen right where he was. Now, if that was the case, then how come Godzilla, or at the very least Dagon, didn't really finish off Ghidorah? Well, this is where a lot of other people started to say that was just Shirmo who defeated Ghidorah, and Godzilla was aware of Ghidorah and decided to keep an eye on him. This theory continued on for a while. But honestly, my honest opinion, this is just my theory by the way, my theory is that both Godzilla, Dagon, and Shirmo worked together to defeat Ghidorah. Now, if you guys remember in my other video about Dagon possibly being Godzilla's brother, you can't recall about Dagon's size. Now, could this mean that both Godzilla and Dagon were probably weaker and smaller than they were, and they needed to find Shirmo and ask her for help? This one is understandable, because if Godzilla and Dagon are brothers, and if they were a lot more younger when Ghidorah was around, that would make sense that Ghidorah would be way too powerful for both Godzilla and Dagon to handle. Yes, two Godzillas could possibly put up a challenge to Ghidorah, but we gotta remember, he shoots lightning from his wings, and he has 3 heads. Now, my theory is that Godzilla and Dagon each have their own battle with Ghidorah. And Ghidorah is way too powerful for them. And when they tried a third time of fighting Ghidorah, this was when they worked together, and they still were no match for Ghidorah. This was when they realized that Ghidorah was just way too powerful for them. So, what was their solution? To find a more powerful kaiju who can help them end this conflict. And what kaiju will that be? Shirmo. Most likely, they went to Shirmo and asked her for help. And of course, sensing a really big threat, most likely Shirmo agreed to help them. They fought Ghidorah, and Godzilla and Dagon were managed to weaken Ghidorah just enough for where Shirmo can imprison Ghidorah with her frostbite blast. This would make a lot of sense. Because for one, Shirmo is, again, really powerful according to a lot of fans. She's like really powerful, and since Godzilla has to go into his evolved form in order to face Shirmo and Scar King, that would mean that Shirmo is incredibly powerful. So, it would only make sense why Shirmo would need the help. Well, yeah. Sorry, folks. I kind of just got done eating something, so it would make sense that all three, Godzilla, Dagon, and Shirmo, would work together to fight and imprison Ghidorah. Because it would make sense that a whole bunch of water just instantly froze Ghidorah. So, it makes sense that a kaiju like Shirmo could freeze Ghidorah. But let's just say that Ghidorah put up a fight to Shirmo alone, at least to the point where she would need help. At least some help, like at least a distraction, so that way she can get Ghidorah at the right spot, right place, and freeze him. And I believe Godzilla and Dagon, they were the guardians of Ghidorah's prison. They were keeping an eye on him. They each took turns of checking back at Ghidorah's prison and making sure that he was still there. Up until the sad fate of Dagon was when Godzilla had to handle the responsibility of not only maintaining balance and order to the planet, but also to keep an eye on Ghidorah himself. Up until the point where he eventually escaped and the events of King of the Monsters officially began. But then again, that's just my theory. Let me know in the comments below. What do you guys think? Do you guys think that Dagon, Godzilla, and Shirmo defeated Ghidorah and imprisoned him? Let me know in the comments below. Anyways, I hope you guys have a great day, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.